That we have some projects going on around our grander initiative library, of what we call Libraria, which is a clause library inside of AAIS, and we use tools like Alfresco. John mentioned that earlier. Alfresco is a base business transactional platform, and we've added some interesting tools to it, a workflow we call HPI, but then we also have a technology called Kira. And Kira is one of the many tools that can be used on an Alfresco platform. But for AAIS, we started by taking all of our content from our forms library and putting it into the clause library, or into this tool, Kira. And we started parsing it and looking at clause by clause, how each compared across different other people's products, how we compared with ourselves across our product lines. And it gave us a really interesting narrative around side-by-sides, which is a very labor-intensive process right now for our industry. But it gave us some immediate output so we can produce side-by-sides very, very quickly. So in using that and bringing that forward, one of the things we started to do was work with the state of Connecticut. And Andy Mace and George Bradner, of course, Commissioner Mace is heading the committee, the special committee on race for the NAIC, who's just an extraordinary man and is really also very supportive of technology industry. So he and George Bradner there at the Connecticut department have been entertaining the Kira product with us for a little over a year to look at how we can actually use machine learning, artificial intelligence for their pilot project of looking at different filings and for compliance as they come into the department at Connecticut. So I'm going to share my screen. First and foremost, we took the checklist, which you're seeing now, and we started to chain the machine with certain examples that the certain things that should have been filled out and should have been provided in this filing checklist, but sometimes is not so well is in the can be seen in the actual filing itself. So the output looks a little like this, and what we've done here, or you can see some of the training that we did. So the 30+ days automatic ERP coverage. And the neat thing, or the new thing that we have with this Kira component is it has the ability to be trained to answer yes or no as to whether the appropriate clause was found in the filing or not. So here are all, this is just a list of the things that we started treating or training the machine with 10 or 15 examples of where it did appropriately or it did not appropriately appear in the actual filing. So, for example, for each one of these, you can see here on the output looks a little like this. The 30-day ERP coverage, we have yes, it is represented in the text, and you see the text at what page in the filing that you can find the actual language that addresses this ERP requirement, and then highlighted over in the text is where it is the actual text itself. So this is what the filing actually said. And then likewise, I have an example here of where it did not meet. So we've taught the machine how to recognize when it did not meet the 30+ day automatic ERP coverage, right? So again, you have a place here. We had to, we had so many good examples of it actually passing that we had to kind of dummy one up and make it not pass. But we actually have where in the actual provision that it did not, that the language did not meet the specific wording and requirement of the statute. So here's another one, retroactive date advance. Did it meet it? Yes. Where was it? Page 17 of 27 in the filing. Very quick look at what it said, but here it is in the context of the document. And then you can't see it from here because we're not in the actual live version. These are just screenshots. But this little button here by the actual retroactive date advance, if you clicked on that, it would actually have the requirement that was there from the actual filing checklist. What is this supposed to say? So that, that gives you the information of what is this supposed to do? Did it do it? And if it did it, where did it do it in the document? If we can get to some of these preliminary reviews and get regulators the ability to use this kind of technology, speed to market becomes real. In this first level review that we see from the insurance regulator can be automated to some extent, which means that we can run this same analysis on the filing before you file that to see where you're at in the scope of have you really met all the requirements in the filing. This does not take the place of real introspective analysis around contract language, but it is a really great first start to automate some of the things that have been very manual for us in the review process, and for compliance professionals to be able to submit those filings with a reasonable certainty and confidence that they really met the baseline requirements of a department. So I think Connecticut is really excited to get this technology inside of the department. Where we stand right now is that we are working with Kira to be able to download what we call a sub-instance. So all the things we've taught the machine around the provisions and the provisioning of contract language, loading that into a separate standalone technology tool for them to interface with online. We'd love, and we are structuring this because we are a modern advisory organization, that you won't need us forever to support this technology. We will be supporting this technology. We will be creating new provisional models and new use cases for the use of Kira, but it's not going to restrict you as a regulator or you as a company to start doing new and innovative things with this tool as well, using 2 years worth of AAIS's work in teaching this AI machine learning tool insurance contract language.